Joining me now, Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She serves on the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. You heard the House Speaker say today the discharge petition that he voted for was fundamentally flawed, exposed victims to unwarranted and unwanted publicity if these files are released in their entirety. Your reaction to that criticism from the House Speaker?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of excuses. I mean, please explain to us again why Representative Grijalva had her swearing in delayed. Please explain to us again why it is that in the middle of the longest shutdown in the history of this country, the speaker avoided bringing us in. This was all about avoiding this. He says that it was political, but at the end of the day, if it was an almost unanimous vote, then why is it that the speaker couldn't just put it on the floor? And if the president had nothing to hide, then why is it that we ever had to do a vote? Why is it that we're sitting here waiting on the Senate to vote? So, I am so happy that there's at least one step in the right direction for these survivors. But at the end of the day, this was an utter disgrace, and it had nothing to do with the speaker trying to better this bill. Because ultimately, in all the time that it took to get the 218 signatures to do the discharge petition, he could have actually dropped his own bill with the language that he wanted to see, and he didn't.
Congresswoman, do you believe the Senate will pass it? Do you believe the president will sign it? And if those two things happen, do you believe the Justice Department will comply fully with the legislation as written?
I don't know. It sounds like the Senate is ready to move. That's fine. But I believe that if the Senate does move and if the president does sign it into law, and at least the votes from the House make it veto proof. If we get about 67 votes out of the Senate, then it'll be veto proof. And no matter what, this will become law. Now, whether or not we get what we need from the Department of Justice is a whole other issue. Pam Bondi does not work for the American people. She has made it clear that she has one boss, and that is Donald Trump. And so we know that there is an outstanding subpoena to the Department of Justice from the Oversight Committee, and they have failed to properly comply with that subpoena in the first place. The only reason that we're even getting information right now is because of the Epstein estate. They have been the only ones that have actually released information in compliance with the outstanding subpoena that we have. So there's a lot more that they could have done. I think the fact that the president has switched his tone signals to everyone that they basically are going to say, well, now there's an active investigation. And so therefore, legally, we can't release anything else.
Congresswoman, the Treasury Department is also involved in this, according to Ron Wyden, the senior Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee. He and his staff have put together a long list of things in the possession of the Treasury Department. Do you also want the Treasury Department to be included in anything that is released by the Trump administration?
Absolutely. One of the things that we had actually talked about when we had a closed door meeting with the survivors earlier this year, along with the speaker, was the speaker said, hey, I'm committed to doing everything that I can. And then obviously he did nothing. But one of the things that we talked about in that closed door meeting was that we needed to expand the breadth of this investigation. And we didn't just need subpoenas that were coming from the Oversight Committee, but we needed some out of financial services as well, so that financial services could be digging in, because that is the equivalent of the specific committee that oversees Treasury. We know that there were signals because of the type of suspicious activity that was taking place as it relates to Epstein. We know in talking to survivors about how much money was kind of going in and out with wires internationally. And we also know that there seems to be a lot of shell corporations that have been set up not only in the United States, but internationally. A lot of shell and fake modeling agencies that these girls would kind of be run through. We also had been told that there had been a mechanism to make sure that they could get immigration papers that were not necessarily had not necessarily gone through the proper vetting and done correctly, as well as some fake marriages. So there's just a lot. And the thing is, you can't pretend that this sophisticated system was only reliant upon two people. Yes, these two people may have been at the top, but with the level of sophistication, I'm just not sure that there's still not activity that is going on. And that is why this matters even today. I know you went back to the 90s, and yes, you're right. There has been a miscarriage of justice for so many decades. But the question is, by ignoring this, are we still allowing for those same loopholes to make sure that children and women are being victimized today?
Texas Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you. I appreciate the time very much.
Absolutely.